The person that knows you best can actually see what you can't see about yourself. The person that knows you best, they have witnessed you live for the longest period of time, more like your parents or your siblings. They've had the chance to study you, to know what you're good at, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are the things you're interested in naturally. They've had a chance to witness you for years, and as they've known what you're actually good at, most times you yourself, you won't know what you're good at. You won't know what is it that is exceptional about you that you're meant to focus on and build. Most times we don't know what we are good at. It's people around us that tend to tell us when we ask, when we inquire from them. But most of us don't inquire. We just feel we know what is the best for us. And surprisingly, you are not the one to tell yourself what you're actually very good at. It's going to be those that have witnessed you, like your parents, that have seen you grow up. They've seen you from childhood to when you got admission to university, so they're people that will know exactly what you are good at. And the unfortunate thing is that most of the time, the person in question doesn't know what they're good at, and they'll end up choosing to invest their time in something else that either pays well at the moment, maybe like a job that gives them the chance to leave the country, to travel out. Like now, so many people now that are not even in the medical field, everybody is rushing to nursing, because nursing is the access point to gain some sort of legal residence in the United Kingdom, most especially that is very strict on giving people residency. Canada also the same thing. America the same thing. Nursing is now what most people are going to, and it's not everybody that likes nursing naturally. It's not everybody that likes seeing blood. It's not everybody that likes holding injection and being in such delicate environment, But because of the benefits, which is a means to an end, is a means to leave the country called Nigeria, is a means to escape this reality of bad governance and poor healthcare services, poor minimum wage, hopelessness somehow for those that are doing the right thing. So this lecture I'm having, this live session I'm having with you now, it will equip you to ask yourself some questions and retrace your steps if it's not too late. If it's too late meaning you are already above your 20s, you have to now choose to build on what you've built before. Although I'll go into that in details as the live stream goes on. So your parents see it all, they witnessed you as you go, they know what you're naturally good at, what traits you have in yourself that is unique to you, that is you. If you can invest more time in it, if you can just focus on investing your time and your resources into that thing, you would end up seeing yourself becoming more valuable. But parents and children don't have this conversation, especially in Nigeria, where the educational system is more like the mandatory stuff. And the educational system in Nigeria doesn't give you what you deserve. They just give you what you can get if you don't have the money to afford private universities. Because private university, you can go for what you want, but all these federal and state universities, sometimes you can apply for something and they won't give it to you. Although it's not that things are getting better. They are making the cutoff mark lower, which is not really a good thing, because it now encourages people that are not supposed to be in the university to start being in the university, and you might see some graduates won't know how to speak coherently and stuff like that. But let me not digress too far. So specific knowledge is in recognition. It's not in pursuit of credentials or paychecks or a higher salary like what nursing is offering in US now and some Western countries. That is not where you find your specific knowledge that is defaultly in you that you can build upon. The field you're naturally good at is your specific is your field, your specific knowledge is in. When you are doing anything in that field, you will not feel stressed. You will not feel like your life is wasting. You will feel alive. You will enjoy doing that work. It's also a work too. It's also a work, but you will enjoy doing it because you will not see it as I'm not enjoying myself or I'm wasting my life or this and that. You just see it as okay, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm being productive doing what I'm doing, and you'll be happy doing it, and you keep on learning, although you will fail, because if you don't fail, you can't learn. So you fail at the initial stages, but with time, you become a master at that particular thing that we are in. And the educational system in Nigeria doesn't give you what you deserve. They just give you what you can get if you don't have the money to afford private universities. Specific knowledge is in recognition. It's not in pursuit of credentials or paychecks or a higher salary like what nursing is offering in US now and some Western countries. That is not where you find your specific knowledge that is defaultly in you that you can build upon. The field you're naturally good at is your field, your specific knowledge is in. When you are doing anything in that field, you will not feel stressed. You will not feel like your life is wasting. You will feel alive. You will enjoy doing that work. It's also a work too. It's also a work, but you will enjoy doing it because you will not see it as I'm not enjoying myself or I'm wasting my life or this and that. You just see it as okay, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm being productive doing what I'm doing, and you'll be happy doing it, and you keep on learning, although you will fail, because if you don't fail, you can't learn. So you fail at the initial stages, but with time, you become a master at that particular thing that you are investing your time in, because that's like what is your natural calling. Like the way in the Bible, David was good at playing musical instruments. If David now went and started learning iron smelting or becoming a blacksmith, that is different from what he's naturally good at. And you can see that because he was very good at playing the harp, that's what brought him into the palace. And from there, his story in the Bible took off. So you have to be doing what you are naturally inclined towards, what you are very good at naturally, what you feel you can do at ease, and you won't feel stressed. You just feel comfortable. You feel like you're enjoying yourself, but you're being productive. You're earning from doing that thing, but you won't feel the depression or emptiness that some people feel while doing some 8 to 5 kind of work, some blue collar jobs that pay well, but the accomplishment is not coming to them because that is not what their soul. I'm not saying their soul. That's not what their spirit craves them to get involved in. That they're just doing it for most likely the monetary aspects of things. So let's get one thing clear. Every human being actually can learn anything, but it's not everything that can be taught. Do you get what I said? Every human being on earth, so far as we put our mind to something, we can learn anything, but it's not everything that can be taught. Yet some things you have to learn it from you being actively involved in that thing. You can't learn it by going to school. Hey, nice one. So you can't learn it by going to school. You can't learn some things by just basically going for a masterclass session, and you feel from that masterclass session you learn everything you're meant to learn. No, it doesn't work like that. Specific knowledge is built with you being in that field, making those mistakes, learning from your mistakes, getting more experience, and mastering it. So there are stages for you to acquire specific knowledge as it is. It's not just because of you are doing something, therefore you're going for a 3-month masterclass, therefore you can learn. No, that is not how it works. That's why it's called specific. It's not called knowledge in general. Knowledge in general is different from specific knowledge. Anything you can learn, anything you learn, you're gaining knowledge. You get? But specific knowledge is going to you now learning in the field that you are naturally, your spirit is drawn towards. Investing your time in that field, that's what gives you specific knowledge. Yet that's what makes you powerful. That's what makes you great. You get? So in life now, the most valuable things that exist, the most valuable things in life generally, they are gotten through genuine pursuit of your curiosity and your passion. Like if you think you want to build something excellent or you want to do something excellently, you have to be doing that thing in that particular aspect of life that your soul is drawn towards. Yet, for example, now musicians, Celine Dion, Michael Jackson, there are many of them. That's where their soul, their body and mind has been craving for, and they went on to focus on that and become great at it. You get, there are those that are into science, Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton. Curiosity towards space, curiosity towards natural things made them to become great, excellent scientists. Is it in medicine? Medicine, you have those that invented polio vaccine that was monumental, penicillin during the World War for reducing injuries and stuff. So everybody that has invented something great, that was where they were destined to be, and they actually went towards, they geared themselves towards that. Everybody's good at something, actually. Nobody is a waste. It's just that the world educational system is not structured in the right way to let it be like farming 1, 2, 3. They can be teaching you general English, multiplication times table, all those minor stuff. Then at some point, they're meant to call the attention of your guardian or your parents. They will not discuss and say, okay, what is your child actually good at, or what do you think he might be good at? And he might not even know it immediately, because then he's still quite young. But let's say after secondary school, before university, university should be to go and learn what you are specifically good at, not to learn one vague course that you don't have any interest in. So you have to maximize this life that you have. Like, everybody viewing this video, you are so lucky to be alive. If you can do the probability time graph of your existence and your non-existence, you are more likely to not exist than to exist. So if you're existing, you should maximize it to the fullest. Specific knowledge is not something you can learn in a classroom. It's not anything you can be trained for. It's not something that you can just pay a tutorial for and they'll come and teach you specific knowledge. No. That's because if you are looking at that, everything that you've learned in school now is just to gain a certificate, something that certifies you that you can do what millions of people can do, because they're not teaching you anything unique in school. What are teaching over 100 million people globally. So 100 million people on the same level playing ground. Even if you study accounting, there are over 100 million accountants globally. If anything you study, just know that there are other people that have studied what you studied and they have the same certification as you. Specific knowledge is deep. Is deep. Is deeply embodied in you. Is the understanding that comes from natural aptitude, like just from your natural existence, you are drawn towards something. You can easily understand something. You can easily see yourself being inquisitive about a certain thing. You are curious about something. It comes naturally to you. You don't need to do too much. It's more like your natural talent. Specific knowledge comes from sustained engagement with something that you are interested in naturally, like your domain. Not just casual, today I partake in it, tomorrow I abandon it, next tomorrow you come back to it, next week you leave it again. No, you have to invest your time. You have to invest your time in that particular thing for a while. You need to be in that domain. You need to make mistakes early. Make your mistakes early, take corrections early, implement those changes, get better at it, keep on improving at it, refining yourself through the fire, on and on and on and on. You keep on getting better at it, that's what specific knowledge is. That's when you can attain specific knowledge fully. When you've invested your time, you've invested you've been curious to that thing, you've asked questions, you've failed, you've made mistakes, you've gotten better. Is when you are doing those things in a particular field that you're naturally interested in. That's when you can develop specific knowledge. You get? That's when you can answer yes. You don't have to even say, people around you will see it. They will say that you're extremely good at something, and what will be easy for you to do will be very hard for some people to do, because you've been there for the longest, so you've gotten better, and you don't see it as work anymore. You just see it as something you like doing. Even if it might be stressful, maybe stressful in the sense that you might need to stay up longer to read, to learn, to understand it, or just partake in it in some way. You might need to be involved in it for, you don't have much time to spend on irrelevant social outings that doesn't add any value to you or your network as a whole. You see yourself now, the free time you have might reduce, but you're investing your time in something meaningful that will give you lifetime of returns, not 10% returns, lifetime of returns. So it's a very wise investment to make. Investing your time in your domain that you're very good at is a very wise investment to make. Instead of investing your time, you spend 1/4 of your time on your domain. The remaining one you spend it going for parties and other things that are vague, that does not add anything to you. It only entertains you. After you laugh, you come back to your reality. Post not clarity. Like, what's the benefits? An example of this now is a person that goes to school and says he wants to study carpentry. Yeah, you can say, oh wow, he's a certified carpenter. He has a HND or a bachelor's degree in carpentry. Wow, this is excellent. This. But even with all that he has learned since maybe in a year or 2 years, you can't compare that person now to a person that has had genuine interest in carpentry, in making furniture from childhood. And maybe he learned from his dad or from a carpenter. He spent 5 years, 10 years learning carpentry. Then now he's on his own as a chief carpenter or whatever they call them. Then the man in question now has failed, he has made mistakes, he has learned. That person now, no matter how you want to put it, even with the certifications of Google, Andela, all of them join, he can never be on par with the person that has spent 10 years in a certain field that he's naturally inclined towards. Not everyone that studies carpentry is interested in carpentry. Not everyone that studies medicine is interested in medicine. Sometimes it's peer pressure, sometimes it's family pressure, because your family are the ones paying your bills, that the family are the ones deciding the school you go to from childhood, what you eat. Yeah, your family is actually like, your parents are responsible for your upbringing, so they can decide for you. So if your parents are the ones that like to impose things on you based on what they think is the best thing, that is the olden days ideology that because my father was a lawyer, I must be a lawyer. That olden days psychology. If you are from a family that has that kind of stuff, you would end up making mistakes. You end up seeing yourself doing things you don't like doing. You need to be very careful in decision making. Don't be in a haste to make decisions that you cannot easily come back from. Don't be in a haste. Don't be in a haste. How do you discover your specific knowledge? Like I said earlier, what I'll say again is specific knowledge is not something you reason about. It's something you observe. Your specific knowledge can be observed. You can observe it. People around you can observe it. If you're trying to reason it, it's like, can you see yourself without looking at a mirror? You can't see yourself. A mirror has to be there for you to see yourself. The mirror now is going to be those that know you personally, those that have lived with you for years, your closest friends that have been in the same space with you for most of the time in your university. I don't know, the university like maybe 4 or 5 years. So 4 years, I think someone can tell what you're interested in within 4 years, but your close pals that come and visit you in your family house on weekends, see what you like to do during the weekends, see what you're always talking about, what you're interested in discussing. Those are people that can observe you and tell you this is what you're interested in, this is what you're interested in. You get? So you have to actually look back at your life to notice patterns. You can't just wake up and say my specific knowledge is this or my interest at this. You need to observe the patterns you've made, how people perceive what you're interested in. What do people come to you for? Is it that anytime they want to solve a particular problem or they need something, they will come to you for that particular thing? What's that thing that people are comfortable in seeking you for the solution? You need to look at things like that. What do you find yourself doing most of the time when nobody's paying to do it? What's that thing that you can do so easily, effortlessly, without getting tired, without being paid to do it? But that thing is something that if you invest in it properly, you can become something meaningful on a global scale. Everybody has theirs. Everybody is unique in different ways, but not many people find theirs on time. Many people don't know about theirs until they're old. I'm like, oh, if I knew, had I known, I would have done this. Regret. Don't live a life of regret, because life is short. So I'm just giving you the keys to know how to plan your life so you end up having a meaningful life at the age of 80 or 90. You feel happy. You feel blessed. People closest to you, they're the ones that will tell you what you're really good at. Like your parents, like I said, your siblings also too. They're the ones that can tell you. And if you want to know it from them, you can ask them. You can speak to them. And when you're asking them, don't try and start defending what they will tell you, or don't try and start interpreting, trying to correct them, or no. Just listen to what they have to say. Ask them questions like, what do you see me being naturally good at? Ask them, what do you think comes easy to me? Listen to what they have to say. Just be calm and listen to what they have to say. They would tell you things about you that you don't know about yourself. But when they tell it to you, you now start saying that, oh, truly, I'm actually interested in this. I actually like this. I like doing this. I like doing that. But it's until somebody tells it to you before you can now affirm it and realize that truly this is what I'm interested in. So you need to don't be defensive when you're speaking to them. Just listen to what they're, and ask meaningful people. Like I said, your parents, not your girlfriend that you met last 3 weeks that will tell you what you want to hear, but won't tell you the truth. Like people that are meaningful to you, that want what's genuinely best for you, have your best interest at heart. That the ones that you ask this question. Don't ask any dummy out there to come and tell you what you think I'm naturally good at. How would they know? They just tell you what maybe they've observed within a week. And something you should know is, if you're in your 20s, if you've clocked 20, at least 20s upwards, you can't start choosing what is your specific knowledge. No, you have to only look back at what have you built so far and build upon that. Because at that point is the window is kind of closed. That ship has sailed. You can't start that again. You have to only build from where you are as at now. If you are wise enough, you'll be able to sit back and check, okay, what have I been drawn to? What have I been interested in doing? That's where you need to now be honest with yourself. Don't just tell yourself this because you are trying to affirm what your parents are saying about you or what your friends think about you. You need to be true to yourself and tell yourself, yes, I feel like I'm interested in this. I think I like art. Even if you're in science class studying electrical engineering, if you are drawn towards making artwork, you are drawn towards painting, you don't have any business studying electrical engineering hoping that they will employ you in Total Energies or NLNG or Dangote Refinery. Even when you get employed there and you start earning a fat paycheck, you won't feel accomplished. You won't feel that ease of doing it. It will be stressful to you. When you come back home from work, you'll be tired. When you're going to work, you'll be gloomy, but you have the money. So the earlier you start building on your field instead of building on what is available, because what is available is different from what is your domain. You need to build in your domain. Don't build in what is available or what is beneficial to you. Children. So don't focus on what is available. Focus on what are you naturally good at. What is it that I am drawn towards, that I can do this thing for hours, even if my body might start feeling, I might start feeling tired. Once I eat, I still want to go back to keep on doing it. I enjoy doing it. I do it effortlessly. That is where you should invest your time. Don't invest your time and your resources into what will benefit you now based on your permutations of the current world we live in, and maybe the network or the connections your parents have. You not choose a pathway that does not in any way make you feel accomplished, does not in any way make you feel proud of yourself. It doesn't even make you feel like you're impactful in the world. You just feel like you're just existing like an NPC, non-playable character. All this GTA San Andreas, you see people walking, going over that NPCs. Do you want to be like that? Or do you want to be someone that is exceptional at something? So you need to talk to yourself. You need to sit yourself down and tell you might be in university already. You might already be done with university. You might be done with secondary school. I think most people that will be on this live stream should be plus 18, I think. And for you to even have interest in watching this live stream, that means you're someone that you you think critically, because nothing about here screams entertainment. So if you're actually watching this, you're one of the few people that actually want enlightenment, not entertainment. And I'm giving that to you on a platter of gold now. Giving you one of the ways you can make some decisions that would drastically change how your life will be for the remainder that you have. I don't know how old you are. I don't know how long you've been on earth. But the remainder of the life you have now, you have the chance to make some decisions that would drastically alter it, create a new timeline that will lead you to the promised land that you need to go to. Or you can remain in the timeline if you're already in your domain of your specific knowledge. Bravo. You are where you're meant to be. Remain there and keep on getting better.